have enough. If you don't have enough, consider sharing with someone, having a buddy helps. Some causes you can have even like 3 people to a table. So yeah, give yourself a budget. 100 for prints, 100 for materials, money for the table, money for travel, money for parking. It adds up really, really quickly. Food
is really important.
Yeah,
don't forget food.
You can expect to spend roughly between 100 to 500 on your first convention. Startup costs will be high because you'll need to invest more in your display. Ask around on forums, social media, where did you get your prints? Doing your research can save some major money, but know that people are sensitive about their sources and don't reply if they're abused.
Just so think about sources for printing especially. Don't always default to Staples.
Don't do that.
Don't. Usually that's not a good idea. Like definitely, like a quick Google search will reveal like so many just like small print shops in your area. And if you go in, you're like, hey, I want to do this. Half the time they'll just do a test for you right there and give you a quote. And then you tell them how many you want. They'll change their quote. So like definitely look into like local stuff if you like. There's online options too, but I've found success with local print shops. So.
Well, the big issue is shipping too, because paper is really heavy.
Yes, it's very heavy.
A local shop is
locally
better.
Yeah. Definitely highly suggest do an actual test print run if you're planning on doing a bunch of prints, because colors never turn out the way you want them to. And it's a little nerve-wracking if you don't do a test print and then just send it to the printer and, you know, do off like 40 copies or something. It could look terrible when you get it. So it's really, it's good for peace of mind to take whatever artwork you have at that time before you finish. Just get a test run, have a look at it, see if there's anything that you want to change, maybe do some more adjustments in Photoshop or whatever program you use, and then do your final print.
There are steps you can take to avoid all of that though. Just people don't do it because it costs money.
Calibrating your monitor.
Yeah, calibrating your monitor.
Yeah, okay.
I've also tried.
Understand that
you have to calibrate your monitor, and then you have to like get the printer profile for the printer you use to get the shop and then match.
it's a huge hassle.
It's a big hassle.
But also just assume that if you're looking at something, you're like, I wonder if this is too dark. It's probably too dark.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, so application process. The processes are different everywhere, but there are some main ones. Juried, first come, first serve, lottery, it's all a bucket full of stress. So some will be juried, so if you get rejected, take solace in the fact that there are 50 people who drew better than you. No. So some are timed. Plan to be home with a stable internet connection during signups, and some use email, some are forms. You might have to pay in the mail with a check. And Carmen does that. What was I gonna say? But PayPal is rapidly becoming more popular. Thank goodness.
Credit card forms. It's about time. Yeah.
Anything on application process?
Ethernet. Do a hardwired connection if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you could plan everything right and you're there, especially for ones that are timed online. You'd be there on time, you're already, got all the form already filled out, all you gotta do is send, and then sometimes you'll get a server error. That happens.
Yeah, this like crashes.
For a talkathon, like I didn't get into the first round, luckily my table partner did, but like it was, we were sitting next to each other. My friend got in fine, I got the server error, so I was like, yeah.
No, I applied to a soccer con last year, and I was like at the computer. I was like, okay, 3, 2, 1, click, and the site just kind of broke. And I was like, oh, I'm not getting into this at all. So
we've all been rejected. So just try again next year, and don't throw a fit because you did not get accepted, especially on Peacecon's Facebook page.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
How often does that happen?
Don't pity party them because they don't care.
No, they don't know. Sample applications, so yeah, just have some screenshots from a Comic-Con and Anime Con, yeah. Some conventions we do not personally recommend for people to start on because their costs are really too high to start on, unless you've got like a body of work already.
Body of work and online following.
Yeah.
If you have a presence online and you're like through Twitter or Tumblr or something, and you have an actual body of work, then you could maybe jump into Fan Expo right away. But
yeah. But if it's your first ever like experience with like your art and people, don't so much recommend it because there goes a startup budget
and you'll just get you get really overwhelmed at Fan Expo. It's like
really,
I still don't even feel comfortable applying for that expo yet. Maybe next year, maybe. But still, again, it's like
even as an experienced artist, it's hard to make that
Yeah.
cost at this point. So, just some things to look for when you apply. How many people attend the con? What is the cost of the table in relation to the pass price? Have artists had success in there in the past? How much table space am I given? Are there any restrictions on what I can sell? How many days is the convention? Do I need to bring my own tablecloths? Yeah. Is the alley open all days or is it closed one? Does it have an advanced opening for premium guests?
That's also important.
That's also important. Does the table come with a pass, 2 passes, 3 passes, 4 passes? How many passes can you add to this table? How many, cool. Are volunteers available to watch your things if you go to the bathroom or get lunch? Or is there a happy man that carries around a thing of change?
There's that guy.
There's a guy at Anime North. Anime North has a volunteer that comes around with a cash box so that you can get change.
Wonderful person.
Yeah.
He's so nice.
He's our favorite.
also how many chairs? It's
How many
like,
chairs?
Oh, yeah.
depending on the convention, like I was able to get 2 passes but only 1 chair.
One chair, yeah.
Depending on the size of the table. So
I'm kind of looking into getting like a portable like camp stool because half of the like convention chairs are way too low, but that's another thing to
Yeah.
consider.
Your back.
Yeah, I guess one thing I would recommend is always bring a pillow for your butt.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing sitting in like a hard chair, like even like this for 3 days, you really start feeling it.
And these are the nice ones.
These are very
these
nice.
are nice.
These are very nice.
Like,
Sitting in the ones
And
that
next way you get the one that's like not even
Oh,
a
they're
chair.
mostly like
Oh my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do get in, post about where you will be located online before the con. It helps your fans know where to find you. I do this every con. Yeah.
even when you get there, I usually take a photo of like what the table looks like once I'm done and post that to my Facebook page and everything, just so that people know what to look for as well as where to find me.
I'm a bad example of this, but I know it does help.
I'm only starting to do that.
Yeah.
So, what do I sell? It's all up to you. Sell whatever you think someone will buy. Fan art or not, again, up to you. Fan art sells, original art sells. As long as it's great work, it sells. But fan art can definitely be an easier sell. So, some popular artisanal goods are prints, 11 by 17 for sure. Not so much the 8.5 by 11s anymore. Postcards, bookmarks, buttons, plush, jewelry, grab bags, the list goes on. We get commissions for after the con if you feel comfortable with that. Make sure you get their email address so you can still email them the work if they disappear from the con. Any experience with commissions at con?
Started out as cool, quickly got stressful. I don't take them anymore unless like I do kind of Sammy style of like $2, I'll write something down.
Yeah.
It'll take me 2 minutes. Like, you know, I just got overwhelmed. A lot of this also goes back to like it's I guess a common artist problem where like people don't know to charge enough for the work they're putting into it, which is why making prints is really great because even though no one's paying you, you're selling copy after copy after copy. Whereas commissions, you're usually not making back as much effort as you're putting in. So I mean, if you're comfortable and you can crank them out really quickly, go nuts. But I err on the side of don't bother. But that's maybe I'm just a
No, it's like I've been wrestling with that very.
Easy to sell at cons. The cons they take up a lot of space and weight in your AA luggage, especially if you get like the heavier quality paper. And it could have many different sizes, but it turned out I only have one size. Buttons are small, easy to buy. They're a grabby item. Nearly everybody loves buttons. The cons are a bit oversaturated, but everybody loves buttons. And people complain that they lose them too easily on their backpacks, and I tell them that you can just sew them on.
or safety clip them, or needle nose plier. Like there are solutions
Yes.
to that.
And buying button makers, it's getting cheap. It's getting cheaper and cheaper to buy button makers. I would recommend. It's only.
Okay,
Sorry,
what
it's
the-
cheap to.
Don't do this. Don't do that.
Unless you really.
That's called the Wilson.
The Wilson?
Okay.
The more you can see of your table, the better. For depth reasons, like the outside of your table. Yeah. It can't be wobbly. It has to be visually appealing and exciting. Wow. Some cons have height restrictions, so pay attention to each contract. I know Otaku-Con, their premium section is 8 feet.
Above the table?
Above the table,
yeah.
and their normal artist is 5. Yeah.
And keep in mind.
Because I don't like dealing with a lot of buttons. Because that's a lot of work. Transporting that and everything. Yeah. much it's the same as PVC pipe. It has like wings now for extra prints. Yeah. So the table types. There's PVC piping. Many different ways of using it. I've got like the transformer style where it goes like. Yeah. Wire cubes, which is corky style. Yeah.
One thing I recommend is the Dollarama sells 6 feet of bamboo. I use that because a lot of people do like the tower and then the piece across, and the piece across is usually what caves first.
Yeah,
so I actually
see it kind of
I've zip tied the bamboo across the top, and it really helps stabilize it. In case anybody wants to use that life-saving tip, just carry it.
Yeah. So yeah, twist ties helps them be more sturdy. It's no culprit of falling apart in the middle of the day if not put together correctly. Boards covered with fabric has a professional look, and it tends to have less display space. There's fancy IKEA boxes with shelves, which are Swedish, fancy, and heavy. There's cardboard and masonite panels, which are easy to pack and easy to set up. We've got easels for that artsy look. Pretty much works if you have paintings.
Yeah.
Or feel free to come up with something completely different.
Yeah, of course.
Or the photo backdrop.
Get a backdrop or a banner. Yeah, so your table can be seen at a distance. Yeah.
From the picture there, it looks as though you're dealing with the really long pieces.
Yes.
Do they break apart?
They do now. They do now. Yes. They used to be just really long like that because we drive to conventions, so we just shove it in the car. But as it's been going on, I'm like, we should cut these and like put them together. And now, put it together today. It's all color coded.
Yeah.
The pieces are all color coded and they have X's and lines on them. So yeah, they made it easier.
Most of the pieces are small enough now that they can pack into like a standard size
Yeah, my suitcase. Yeah, they just stick out a little bit, but that's fine.
Yeah, your display might be amazing, but make sure you can take it with you.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's another thing.
Yeah, that's why we had to rebuild.
Yeah, exactly.
The friend that I tabled with at Anime North, she had a PVC pipe display that was completely like number coded and dismantleable enough that she could put it in her suitcase because she actually tabled it at AX in LA for 2 years now. But I don't have that personally yet, so this time around I'm just using water cubes, which I'm noticing are really heavy.
They're heavy. They're
So
very heavy.
I am probably gonna look into a PVC type setup in the near future.
And do you want to talk about yours? Mine? Yeah.
Oh, me and my dad and I came up with something completely different. We did think like a stretch canvas. We do like aluminum tubing frames, and then I wrap black fabric around them. So the tubing isn't actually that heavy, and we can break it up enough that it folds down. We actually fit it in a ski bag, which doesn't fit in a suitcase, but it still is small enough. We cut the ski bag in half, so it'll still fly. So if you take it, like I flew with it to Boston, and they were like, okay, whatever, that's your checked luggage. Sweet. Yeah, and I mean, what kind of stinks about it is that every time I want to do something new, I have to buy new aluminum and new fabric, but then it lasts for a while. And there are like ways I can design around it that'll have a little bit more growth and longevity, but it just shows that you can do something completely different.
So
yeah,
this is like a bunch of different tables that people just submitted. So these are mostly in the States, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of them.
From the Artist Alley Network
Artist Alley.
International.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah, on Facebook.
There's a Facebook.
How do you attach the fabric to the aluminum?
Oh, it's got Velcro on the back.
Oh, okay.
But the other thing you could probably do if you measure it out more carefully, you could probably just have like a screw sticking out the back and then have a grommet hook around it. I didn't measure that carefully. I just like stuck Velcro everywhere and it works. So,
So these people have a ton of different.
Yeah. So this would be like you were asking about the prints and the crafts. So they do a little bit of both. So you just gotta make sure it's well balanced. I like the Lazy Susan thing off to the side. The rotator.
Very grabby.
Yes.
yeah. That's
Oh
really
yeah, theft would be a big thing.
Oh yeah, that too. But
Oh.
like kids like it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is like the Swedish box sort of thing. Oh yeah.
Big
boxes.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very cool.
Lots of wire.
Yeah, wire cubes and they've got foam core.
I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Yeah, I've used foam core before as well, and that worked. That's the first rendition of my stand was just like a wooden frame, and then again I used like Velcro, and then just foam core, black foam core around the panels, which really great for starting out because it's pretty cheap. but you usually have to buy the foam core over and over and over and over. So good for first time. I don't know about long term.
Yeah. I like having at least one wire cube, even if I am sharing with someone with a PVC display, because you can like keep your cash box and things that you don't want other people to be able to get at, but still have easy access to it. It's like a little safety zone.
Yeah, a lot of wire cubes.
Yeah.
We got a lot of wire
It's
cubes.
just easy. And
This one's cool. You get them everywhere.
That was really neat. Yeah.
I don't trust Dollarama wire cubes though, but my Walmart ones have been good.
Yeah.
My friend's Dollarama
This
ones.
has like a lot of fabric on it. It's like really,
or something.
yeah, it's a curtain. They've got lighting.
That's got power.
Yeah.
Or they're just like the LED, the ones you think
Battery
This
power.
one's like really wow factor.
Yeah.
This one's like ridiculous.
That's
Yeah.
That's
Very organized.
Is that like fancy wire cubes?
They're
They're
fancy.
Yeah, they're
They're
fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the pipes.
Yeah.
The pipes on that
Okay,
thing.
so if you want to splurge,
Those nights.
Yeah.
It's not the size, it's how you use them.
Yeah. Very cute. Okay, so exhibitors layouts. There's different alleys and different layouts. Being close to the door is usually good. Being stuck in a corner in the back of the room is usually not so good. Sorry.
facts.
Sometimes conventions will change up the display and layout on a yearly basis, so you have no idea if you're in a good spot or not until the day you show up.
Yeah.
Do you ever get a choice on that? Or?
There's some conventions that will offer you premium seating, which even though like you can't guarantee where in the premium seating it will be, but it is still better. Like we got an MCAP at Fan Expo. We're facing the wall, which at first I was like, man, that's shit. But except it's actually really good because that aisle is still bigger than like the aisle. So and people have a little bit more like, I knew they were in an end cap. So if we just go past here, we'll find them again. Talkathon does premium as well. Like again, you pay more money, you get a better space. So I guess be confident that you can make that extra money back.
And being next to anime wrestling, you gotta bring some medicine for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anime North is really bad for that. It always seems to.
It's Elmo! Oh my god, it's Elmo!
That's all I hear.
I don't get the anime.
Elmo's back. Just think that remix with food is good.
Yeah,
I mean, I just know there's a
also, like,
wrestling
talkathon, I might bring some stuff
group,
this
and I
year,
assume
because
it's
sometimes
that.
You get the bass like moving through like one of the walls, and you're
Yeah.
just like,
Also, a word of warning. Sometimes you can sign up to be next to your friends, which is sometimes awesome. Other times, if you have a whole row of friends, you could get screwed over and be put at the back because the organizers are like, well, there's 8 tables that all want to sit together. Let's just throw them back in the back and then worry about putting everyone else everywhere. That was me in my first time at Anime North. We were right at the very back of the alley.
Yeah, these are just examples.
People
That's
submit,
huge, though.
people submitted a bunch of them to us from the States.
That's scary.
Yeah,
scary.
that's Fan Expo
The
scary.
ones for like AX and Otakon, oh my god, I'm just like, that's
You
a
have
lot
that many
of people.
artists? Okay. That's nice. This
This
is
is
graphic
so
fun.
huge.
Yeah, it's labeled. Artists are separate from vendors.
oh, that's the thing too. Sometimes you'll be in the same room as the vendors, and sometimes you won't be. And like, personally, I think it's better because people are gonna to be in the same room as dealers. Or to have to be like shoved through artists to get to dealers. But when I was at KatsuCon and they were like sending in a survey of like, what would you like to see change? Would you like to be in the same hall as the dealers? A bunch of people said no. And I was like, what is? No, you want that. Stop it. You want that a lot. So I guess bear that in mind.
So, how to store your stuff, how to take it with you. So this is the one on the left there, preparing for a large con. It's usually what I'll do for Anime North. That rainbow shelf with wheels is amazing because I just keep it beside me at the table, everything's there. And because I don't like taking more than one trip, so I'll just like have literally everything on me. And preparing for a small con, so like ConBravo here, I'm actually even without the rainbow shelf and the backdrop stand, so I have just the extra bag, because I have the DS cases. DS, like the clear cases, take up a lot of space. If I was a print artist, I wouldn't have that, so I mean, there's the pros and cons for extra stuff.
Yeah.
So, just try to pack as light as possible. And then, you can see my rainbow shelf there with all the different, I have envelopes that are clearly labeled, and then I've got a, when you do buttons, you can get organizers from the dollar store. I got this one from Hope Hardware for like $10. It's double-sided. So when you think about it, that's technically 2 of the dollar ammo ones put into one, so that's less stuff to carry.
Oh, that's fine. I don't recommend this. Because they're slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of like stack mine in bags, and that
I'm
works.
trying to get something that's better.
You get if you're lucky, it's
Do
on the
it,
six.
yeah.
But I guess it does fit those like portfolio books that fit 11 by 17. So it's big, and it's just on wheels, and it's like landscape mode, unlike most suitcases, which are like more portrait. And I guess it's very square on the inside, so you can just put all your prints in, and they won't get dinged up. So that might be like the file folder option we're looking for. I'm not sure, but there are some.
I use those little portfolio. If you can see it here. This black thing.
Oh yeah, they're good.
This black thing here. Portfolio carrier, and then I just put little separators between each one, so I've got like an 11 by 17 blank piece of paper with just a little tab, and I just write on it, which is great until you start like mismatching and stuff. But that's about as close as I can get to finding something that would work for me.
I have a stack of prints that big.
I've gotten that.
It's gonna not gonna work.
Right now, I just have them like organized by different kind and just laying flat in my suitcase because I only have a stack of prints that are like this. But when I start making more, that's when I'm gonna be like, oh. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now. Sammy, tell us.
I don't know. When it's really busy, people love deals. 2 for $5, 3 for $25. Oh my god, that's a deal.
Especially when you do set prints, so like sets of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Anything else on that? You should keep going. Never underprice yourself. Get a cash box or a fanny pack. And know where it is at all times. It's right there. Have a float, $50 to $100 in change or small bills. Optional is get a card reader.
Yep. There's Square. There's a
There's a
PayPal
few.
one now.
Yeah.
What do you recommend for card readers? Because I bought one, but I read better.
That one?
Square reader.
What's that one?
Square.
Square? Yeah.
I love Square.
Square's good. They will take a small percentage of your sales, but
very minimal.
Which
It's
apparently you are not allowed to put that charge on your customer. Just FYI, they can actually get you in trouble for that, apparently.
I don't even know what the percentage is.
Yeah, no, I actually worked it out because like convenience stores do that. If you like use a card under a certain amount, they like have you pay a service charge, and most people are like, yeah, whatever, I'm using a card, like an extra 10 cents, who cares? But don't do that with Square because apparently they can be like, that price sure was weird. What are you doing? So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, there's a couple different types if you look into it. But yeah, I think Square is the one that a lot of people use. People are starting to do the PayPal one as well. I don't know much about that one.
Square was kind of first.
Yeah.
First. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing I like about Square is that you can use an offline mode. That the only issue is that if the person's credit card declined, you won't find out till later, and Square won't cover those charges. So thank God we have Wi-Fi.
Yes.
And usually people can just sign with their finger, and then there's an option you can text them the receipt or email them the receipt if they really want it. But mine will just say you gave this person $20. But you can actually put in like actual items, so you could literally like use it like as like a cash register.
Yeah. A friend of mine does baked polymer jewelry. It was actually from her that I first saw the Square Reader in action. And she's been doing like the one-of-a-kind shows in Toronto now for a couple of years. So she has an extensive array of jewelry. But it was really, really good for her to have this combination of credit card accepting machine and stock notification. So she was also using that to keep track of her stock. It's like, oh, I'm running out of my Oreo earrings, or I only have 2 of those left. Oh, I should let people know that if they try and buy it. So
Smart. If you go to the one-of-a-kind show, they actually have a table there where you can just pick up a Square Reader.
Oh, yeah. Clear bags, not big bags, no. So that they walk around and show off your art. Because so many people have come up to my table like, oh my god, I saw this person walking around with your art, and I had to have that one. And I was like, yes.
Or you see like people walking around with your stuff like after the con for the day, and you just get like the warm fuzzies, and it's the best.
Yeah. So mark down what you sold for yourself on a sheet to keep track of your sold inventory. But if you're going at like a pace that's like, oh my god, I get it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know how much you have at the beginning, and you can subtract that at the end. But it's just good to have a running inventory if you can.
half the time I just go like, well, the stack was this thick when I started. It is now this thick. Awesome. Like, I'm really bad for like estimating what.
Yeah.
If you're the only one putting.
I've sold a half inch.
Yeah.
I sold a half inch of prints. Today was a good day.
Yeah. If you're the only one putting money in the cash box, then it's not that big a deal. If you are sharing the cash box with somebody, if you're sharing a table.
Don't share a cash box.
No,
Yeah, I
don't
don't
share
recommend
cash
it.
box.
Yeah, I would recommend it, but then you do have to keep like.
The closest thing that I did to sharing a cash box was like the last day of Anime North. If you are just starting out though and you're like, I have 5 prints, I don't know how much I'm going to sell. I know Curry's, Above Ground Art Supplies, and Sears do sell their bags in packages of 25.
Yeah.
So you can pick those up, and they're obviously going to be more expensive than doing like
Yes,
larger numbers through
Yeah, but
Uline and that, but like
then
I
you're
think-
only spending like $10 or something.
Yeah,
like
like,
per
I-
bag, it's more, but
It's about $60
starting
for
out.
them.
Yeah, whereas for 25 I paid 10.
Yeah.
So, but I also didn't have time to do a big stock order, so the convenience aspect of being able to go yoink yoink yoink.
The price of carry.
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you go to Quebec and you do not know French,
No.
okay, so set a goal for yourself. It can be something as simple as smile at everyone. It's a weird goal, but okay. Or remember to eat 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I
forgot
I ate a
today.
cookie today. I ate Twizzlers and we had McDonald's.
There was actually, I can't remember what con it was, but there was a girl that had a heart attack. She didn't sleep for like the week before and then didn't eat that weekend.
That's
because
how
she
you
was so
die.
busy. That's how she didn't die. She just had a heart attack.
That is
And
how
she was
you
only like
attempt to die.
26.
That is how you attempt to
I
cease
don't do that.
living.
Don't stress
Yeah.
yourself out. It's not worth stressing yourself out. Sleep and eat.
Yes.
As a biologist, that shit won't work.
Biologist?
As in
Yeah.
everything.
Whale biologist?
No.
Depends on Inuyasha. So it's hard to predict, but use the internet to follow the recent trends.
Was it
It was
the
Ochiba
chosen warrior? Was it our chosen warrior?
No, no.
No.
It was Ochiba-con. It was just like, can I have this pin of Inuyasha? Okay. Can I have another one? Yes. She comes back.
Like an hour later, you got like.
Yes, you can have my last
Yeah.
Inuyasha button.
Sometimes it's a good idea to look and see what guests are also attending the convention.
Yes, that's
So
actually
say,
really good.
I don't know, if for some reason you wanted to do Fan Expo and you go, oh my god, Matt Smith and a bunch of other Doctor Who people are going to Fan Expo. Maybe I'll do a Doctor Who print if I like it. Because then you can advertise, it's like, get this sign
Yeah.
by so-and-so.
At least you know those kind of fans are going to be there.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really like how you said, if I like it, because drawing art that you don't actually like is a very sticky
Yeah, it
People
sucks.
don't.
Don't do it.
People don't.
That's actually another reason to maybe avoid commissions, because like someone will be so excited and they're like, can you please do this thing? And you'll be like, I don't want to. And like it's hard to say that to someone's face
Yeah.
when they're that excited.
Usually a lot of people have no porn.
Yeah.
I'm not drawing porn.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been asked
Yeah.
that before.
It's no
Yeah.
mecha, no furry, and no porn. That's usually what the requirements are.
Yeah.
Or just like only
Mecha
mecha
furry.
for
Yeah.
They're always like,
With the furry.
Draw something you're
we should
comfortable
just
with.
together, we should, as like the 4 of us, be like together, we'll collaborate on one mecha furry porn commission. Pay up.
Yeah.
Auction style.
The video starts at $100.
Yes, because it's got to be split 4 ways.
But see, that's why I wanted to do the draw you as a squid, because then I just have to draw like a little chibi character. All I do is change the hair and add a little mask. It's great,
So-
because then
so
no one's
easy.
asking me for a dog.
We don't have
Yeah,
to do
that's
it. We don't have to do it. 5 Nights at Freddy's porn already exists.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Do you have somewhere online in particular you research for following trends?
Isn't there like anime?
the Anime North tag
Anime North
Yeah.
tag's
on
good.
Tumblr is great because then you see people's cosplay.
Yeah, cosplay's a good one.
And then you're like, this cosplay has 10,000 people in it. Attack on Titan seems like a good idea this year. Or Steven Universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Like, really big right now.
Crunchyroll. You can check like their top watched.
Yeah.
Good
So
point, yeah.
that'll give you a good idea. I think there's like, what's another one? I just drew a blank. places where you can watch it online. I illegally watch a lot of my stuff on animeflavor.com, and you can check and see what the top
are there.
how many put like the official One Piece logo on top of your print. I got in trouble at Anime North for I made the Team Fortress thing, but with like little chibi girls as the guys instead, and it had the Team Fortress logo, and they told me I had to take it down because it used the official logo. So.
Same with my friend that I shared with this year. She had fake free magazine posters. It's like, oh my god, this new scandal with blah blah blah. But she had a logo that looked too similar, even though it was slightly different from the official logo. It was still too close, and so they asked her to take it down.
Clever,
It all depends on the convention, though, too. A lot of the times when it comes to different properties,
They'll give you a list. Usually, like when you sign up for the rules, it'll be like no Homestuck, no Welcome to Night Vale, no Disney, no Marvel, like things like that. You will get a cease and desist usually from people. You're not like automatically going to go to jail if you draw something. Usually they'll send you a cease and desist saying, please don't do this anymore, and then you don't, unfortunately.
And it's also different when you're drawing them in a different style than what the original artwork looks like. So like, I don't know, if you're drawing Sailor Moon and you do the drawing and it looks exactly like the Sailor Moon, like all the other official Sailor Moon artwork, but then if you do a take of Sailor Moon in your own style, then it's still the same character, but you're moving away from the copyright, like I am just reproducing something that you could buy officially, or as opposed to taking my own take on something that I love and showing my love and appreciation for it. There you go.
It actually, as a general rule, maybe steer clear of like really indie stuff. Like, I mean, obviously Night Vale has kind of exploded, but like it's still like a group of like 10 or fewer people making a thing. Stay away from stuff like that because you want the money to go to them, not to you. Like, if you like the thing, you're actually helping them by not doing fan art if they're that small.
Alright, to art trades. And art trades are awesome. So remember that someone never has to trade with you. You can ask them.
If you're doing, I'm doing it with, like mostly trying to do it a lot more this year because I do have 3 big cons to go to. Restock as soon as you can because when there's a week before ConBravo and you haven't stocked up on anything, it's really stressful.
So
okay, like me sending off a finished thing to my printer at 5 a.m. this morning, like they did not need to print that for me. Like, you should not expect that to happen. Yeah, I try to have things ready for like at least a week in advance. Sometimes it's impossible, but yeah.
Oh, that's it. I thought we had more.
Spreadsheets are your best friend when it comes to like tracking inventory and stuff.
Loyalty to your printer goes like great distances.
That's true. Actually, yeah. That's
Bring them cookies.
The first few times we used our printer, the turnaround was like 2 or 3 days, but we've consistently gone back, and now we'll submit something like
8:30 a.m.
8:30,
Prints are
like,
done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something like midnight, and then
Yeah.
like as soon as they open, it's done, so we can come pick it up the same day.
And the nice thing about that too, because I'm getting that similar thing with the print shop that I'm going to, they're keeping track of the orders that I've done before, so they remember the different types of paper that I use, so I don't have to give them all that information again. It's like, oh yeah, that one again, oh same as last time, all right, sweet, da 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 da, bam.
This many.
Phone call a couple hours later, so your prints are done. And some print shops will actually like cut things for you too.
Yeah.
So if you can get your 11 by 17s trimmed, they're so much nicer.
Full
then.
bleed.
Fully trimmed. Oh, that is pretty.
So what they do?
It's not like a skew.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.